this is the update on the pool that everybody wants to see. I've really never gotten a chance to put out too many of these videos because of work and other things. I'm going to go over a few details about it right now. I'll go ahead and let you know right now the pool is shut down. We're not using it anymore. We tried to start it up this year. It's just too much work. We have too much going on to keep up with it. So let's go ahead and take a look. You can see it would need some more staying anyway. Needs a little bit of work done to it. But there you go. Started to take the deck down for a chicken coop. Use some of the lumber for that for a chicken coop. This is what you get after about 4 years with this thing. I'm not sure exactly what the dates are. Of course, all of those did rust out. That one's not too bad. But our biggest issue, as you can see, the settling issue we have down to this corner. Let me get over here. You can really see. And yes, that is flex tape, and it did work quite well, as a matter of fact. My intention this year was to cover that whole corner, since, as you can see, the pipe has already come out and flipped around. It's done. Ain't no fixing that. Well, that's probably the best looking one, I guess. That one right there is completely crushed and fallen. That one's not in too bad a shape. But I gotta put a few figures together for you. So the deck, I mean, this is a lot of lumber. We put a lot of money into this deck, and when it was first built, it was super nice. There used to be a sliding board right here. Took that up because it was just more in the way than anything, and only the kids could really use it. It wasn't really made for the adults. The steps right there, I can't remember the name of that company. It starts with a V. Those were really, really nice. About 240 bucks, I think we paid for those. And since we're done with the pool, we'll pull those out. I'll probably put those on somewhere to sell them locally, and see if somebody wants them. Can always get rid of stuff like that because they're they're plastic. They're in great shape. I just took them out and cleaned them for this year and put them back in. Anyway, I've got an electric, it's not electric, it's a rechargeable pump vacuum that has its own bag that collects everything that we use to vacuum the pool with, as opposed to using the skimmer. The skimmer was always a pain in the ass. That hose was never long enough, and she wound up having to just buy a new one of these because it all broke. And as we could see this year, we're already looking at more money. And at the end of the day this year, we've just decided, for the effort that we have to put into it, it's not worth it anymore. I would have to say that the first year we got our good money's worth out of it. We paid $9.99 for the pool. We paid $2.50 roughly for those, shipping and tax and all that kind of stuff. We had a robot, Aqua something, I can't remember the name of it, that used to run around. It would plug in right there, and it had a cord attached to it, and it would just run around and run one direction and then flip a pump inside of it and run the opposite direction. It was about $240 as well, maybe a little more, because the vacuum we have now is a little over $300. So you can see the numbers start adding up really quick. The biggest issue and where we spent the most money here was on chemicals. You see how green this pool is. It is almost impossible where we live here, with the humidity and the heat, the sun just beating down on this pool, to maintain the chlorine and the right levels in it. It gets out of whack so quick, and if you get too many people swimming in it, you're done. It'll take you a week to get it back in shape. It's just really hard to maintain it with the temperatures that it gets to. You can physically feel when you get in the pool, it's nice and cool down near the center, but when you get to the edge, it's really hot in the middle of the summer. And then it gets stirred up, and the temperature gets to like bath water. I mean, it's really warm, way warmer than it should be. We found a few tricks to maintain it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just too much work. It really is. I mean, look how that bows there. You see the different bows and angles in that because of the way that's settling out compared to that one. I was always concerned about that. If you go back and look at the original setup video on putting this pool up, you can see that was one of our concerns. But I mean, it works itself out. So at the end of the day, I don't know what these things cost now. I think they're like $15.99. They're really expensive now. This is a 12 by 24 by 52 Intex. Matter of fact, let me go down here. You guys excuse the mess because we're in the process of remodeling. All that's getting stripped off. All that's getting torn apart. New siding, new windows. Everything's getting remodeled out here. So, pump is really good pump. I'm going to keep that thing. I'm going to use that thing for something. I don't care what for. I'll figure out a use for that. I'm pretty good with figuring things out like that. So, it's not here. I think it's on the end over here. Anybody's interested to know, there it is. It's a Model B. Right there is your information for this pool. Any warnings, any of that kind of stuff. So it has to have all this on here, I guess. Safety stuff. Well, it's just basic warnings. So you can see here. I mean, that's just, look at this. And what you have is this rust right here. These big chunks of rust fall off in the pool when the kids get to playing and this thing gets to rocking back and forth. You see this? I mean, look. Look, they just barely touched that and it fell in. Because I was looking at the camera, not looking at my finger, just barely touched it and it fell in. Now imagine that times this thing sloshing around all the time. So it gets pretty bad. But look at that corner down there. You can really see, I guess we had an issue. And the biggest comment we had on the video of the install was, is that a pool over a pool? And why, yes, it is. A pool over a pool. There's the old bar right there where you could get in and out. This was a family property, and the mother and them was next door, mother and father, and that was their house, their original house on the road. And there's a pool on the other side of that shed right there. They have a in-ground pool that was put in around the same time as this one, and they've had issues with that one. They just had to put a lot of work into that. New pump, new liner, repair liners, I believe, repairs to the liner, not an actual liner. So I think we're going to go ahead and take this down and use this for a garden. Our garden's kind of weak. We're setting one up right there. We want to expand it. It's on that hill. I've been looking for a place to put a greenhouse, and I think this might be the perfect place for a greenhouse right here, at least some of it. With this concrete, I'll be able to keep critters out with a fence a whole lot easier. But I can't wait to get this thing down. Here's another thing too. I'm sorry to skip around so much, but look at this. See these little hairs? The actual material itself, I don't know if that's from the salt and the heat all combined, but you can see it's starting to split right here. So go back and look at my video. It was Mother's Day. I can't remember what year it was. It's like 4 years ago though, that we put this pool up. If I had to put, was it worth it status on it, I can't say that I broke even money-wise. I'd have to say this cost me more to do this endeavor over the last 4 years than it was probably worth for myself. However, the kids and the parties that we've had here have just been a blast. And it's gone less over the last few years. You know, life changes, it throws you curveballs, and the pandemic and all kind of other things. So, you know, it is what it is. Life goes on. So this will be a chapter that we close out. You can see that chicken coop over there. Watch for that video. It's coming soon. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video if you can. Anybody that you know that's interested in one of these pools. Depends on how much work you're willing to put into it. Depends on the location. There's a lot that factors into this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. If you're not willing to do hard work and you're not willing to pay somebody else to keep your pool clear and ready to swim at a moment's notice, don't buy it. because it is hard work. It is hard work all the way around. This is for a DIY. I mean, usually when you got an in-ground pool like this, unless you know a lot about pools, then you're going to hire a company to come in and maintain your pool for you, which is what most people do. I know a little about pools. A little bit about pools from doing property management. We used to have quite a few pools. So it's up to you. Are you going to put in the hard work? If not, don't buy it. Go find a local pool, find some friends. Maybe they live in a subdivision, and share the cost of a subscription to a pool somewhere. Those kind of things. You know, so at the end of the day, I'd have to say I won't do this again. Not in the least, unless I got an in-ground pool and somebody else to take care of it. I don't need the extra work. So hope you enjoy the video. If you haven't seen some of our other videos, check out the couple of videos on the beehive there. That is a 10 frame over there behind the black planter. I've had issues with that, and it's finally coming back to life, and we're going to add 8 frame hive to this now. I've got all the components coming. We accidentally ordered an 8 frame brood box, so to make it right, I just went ahead and bought all the rest of the components: another brood box, another honey super for it, a lid, an entrance, a bottom, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have a whole new setup of our 8 and a 10. So watch for videos on that, because that apiary over there is going to grow. So thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit that 1,000, and we're almost there. Share this with everybody. Maybe the more views we get, the more people we can subscribe to the channel. And like I said, get ready for other videos on the chicken and the bees to come. Thanks.